Hey, did you know that if you want to have good harvest, you have to plant good stuff? I'm sure this is the basic content of a lot of seed commercials in Iowa where I did a lot of my growing up. It's true, but I'm not a farmer. I want to tell you some farming stuff though. That's the first one. You got to plant good stuff to get good stuff. Welcome to the Takeout. I'm Jeremy. I'm the pastor at Community United Methodist Church in North Muskegon, Michigan. And you might find us by going to communitychurchumc.org. Welcome. I'm so glad you're here. I'm going to talk to you about this farming image, even though I'm definitely not a farmer. My grandpa was a farmer when he was a young man, and he moved away. And eventually he became a doctor. So I guess my family has not been farming for a long time, because that was more than 100 years ago. So I'm going to take this off, because I'm just pretending. I'm wearing my Carhartt jacket. So here we go. Let's talk about this passage out of Galatians, chapter 6. It's Paul's letter to the church in Galatia, and they're having some problems, and he's writing to them about some stuff. And this is toward the end of the letter. So he does say, carry each other's burdens. That's how to keep the law of Christ. Okay, there's the first thing. If he's trying to tell us how to be good farmers in life and how that metaphor somehow carries in, first thing you got to know about farmers is they believe in their neighborhood, their community. I've had awesome neighbors. We moved to our current house from a house with awesome neighbors who were so helpful, almost embarrassingly helpful. You know, they'd be over and do our snow before I even was out of bed. Don't go and, mow the grass for us. And it wasn't even that bad, but I was out mowing and God bless them. They're so sweet, so helpful, always offering. You know, if I went over and said, can you help me carry this into the house? Oh, sure. Come, pop over. If I need to borrow a tool or something, there we go. Easy. Great stuff. How to be neighbors is to bear one another's burdens. That's one way of saying it. Carry one another's needs. Someone, one of our neighbors was getting elderly, and he liked to get out and do his own snow blowing in the driveway, and yet he really didn't have to because he had neighbors. And I learned to be a neighbor that would help out with that kind of thing. It was great to become that kind of neighbor. I haven't yet got it figured out right where I am yet. I'm working on trying to be as good a neighbor as I can, but it's a good thing to do. It builds relationship, it builds community. And okay. Then the next thing, let me skip down to verse 5 and say, everyone has their own load to carry. Everyone's got burdens. And because everyone's got burdens, that means you always have the opportunity to help somebody. You always can. You can always help out. Farmers are doing this kind of thing. Well, a neighbor's sick, laid up, whatever, something bad happens. The neighbors come over and they're plowing the field, putting out the fertilizer, and they're putting down the seed, or they're bringing in the harvest, and making sure that the basic things happen when they have to happen, even at expense to themselves, because they're neighbors. Because they know, I've got my own labor, I've got my own burdens, and I have to carry them, I have to pick them up, and someone's going to have to help me sometime, so I get to help somebody else right now. And it's just the way it is. It is great. It's really the way I think that God intended for people to get along and live. So let's look at, verse 6. Verse 7. Don't fool yourself. God isn't mocked. Whatever you sow, you're going to reap. harvest. Farmers know this, right? Get good feed, get good seed, get good stuff, put it down in the soil, get the best you can afford to get the best yield, to get good stuff coming out that you're going to be able to sell. Yeah, whatever you put in the ground, that's what you're going to get out. And Paul is spinning out a metaphor here. So here we go. If you're sowing in the field of self-indulgence, another translation say in the field of the flesh, or physical things, if that's where you're putting your effort, to making more money, to having more sex, to having nice things, to fame and glory and whatever you think you can pursue, if that's where you're putting your effort, well, that's what you'll get, maybe, but you're also corrupting your soul. He says, if your sowing is in the seed of self, in the field of self-indulgence, then your harvest from it will be corruption. If your sowing, on the other hand, is in the field of the Spirit, then your harvest from the Spirit will be eternal life. Now, how can I plant there? I guarantee you that some pastor somewhere along the line has said, yes, I'll make this into a sermon on giving. Well, it is January. I am talking about giving all month, and yet I'm not going to make that connection because I think that's really unfair. It's not that if you give more to the church, then you'll get eternal life. What a lie that would be. What a silly thing to say. And then presumably the opposite, in that economy. Then if you don't go to the church, then you're going to hell. No, I'm not saying that. But where are you putting your investment? I mean, I do believe in investing in the church. I do believe investing in ministry is investing in what God is up to. And I believe in doing it right in our church. Because I believe our church is working for God in our community. So, that's there. But I'm thinking back to farmers. I'm thinking back to farmers and thinking, where am I putting my effort? I hope I'm putting my effort into good things. And I hope I'm putting them in day by day. Let me just think about the most basic thing. Back to that verse 2, which was, bear one another's burdens. Just think about your neighbors. Maybe they need their snow shoveled. Maybe they need their grass mowed. Maybe they need someone to talk to. I had a friend come over and talk the other day, and I was so glad. I was so glad to have a friend talking to me for a long time. That was great. But it clearly was also what he needed. Making friends is such a sacred thing. And the thing about being a good friend is that you have to put time into it regularly. It's not entirely unlike growing plants. You have to water them every day until they're ready to go. You have to make sure that they're taken care of and make sure the weeds are taken away. If I want to be a good neighbor to somebody, I have to know what's going on in their lives. I have to care. I have to pay attention. I have to be the kind of neighbor that they need. So he says, let us never slack in doing good, for if we don't give up, then we shall have our harvest in due time. Let me tell you about what the church is here for. The church is here for a harvest. Our harvest is people. We're not the Grim Reaper. We are helping to bring people closer to God. And the way we work in that field is through relationships. And the way you strengthen a relationship, and the way you share the love of God, the way I make a difference where I am, the way that happens is every day, is persisting. If you want to grow plants, you got to take care of them all the time. If you want to have a cow, you better feed that cow every day and water it and clean and Do all the things required for that cow. If you want to build a friendship and a relationship that is the foundation of building neighborhoods and communities, then you better get on with it right where you are and do it every day. Talk across the fence. Give a phone call. Make the effort. Make the effort again. Make the effort again. And keep doing it and don't quit. This is the kind of persistence that helps a church generate a harvest. You are the workers in the vineyard that Jesus was so eager to get. You are the workers for the harvest who have to come and bring it all for God. We are a church working on making disciples of Jesus Christ, and that's our job. It's our mission. We're working on making ourselves into the best disciples we could be, and we're working on helping other people become disciples for the first time. That is our job. That is our mission. If you give to the church, you're giving to that cause right there, reaching out to make disciples. It's what we do to help other people get to know Jesus and learn to follow Jesus and trust in Jesus. And we do it through trust, through relationship, through caring. Let's never slacken in doing good. Friends, thanks for paying attention. Thanks for being my fellow walkers and workers in this field. I'm not much of a farmer. I can't even pretend real well. But I want us all to be farm workers for Jesus Christ. People who make a difference, who reach out, who share in what God is calling us to. I hope you'll join me and stick with it all your life. God bless you.